You know, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be Cruella de Vil. And now...
Like, now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. These are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. Earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
Yo, this situation just took an even darker turn. Because now, Katt Williams and DL Hughley are openly dragging E.J. Johnson into the conversation. And according to them, this is what happens when people stop setting boundaries and start applauding every single thing, no matter how extreme it gets. And if you thought the internet was finally done clowning E.J., think again. Because social media just erupted after fresh footage surfaced of E.J. walking through Paris wearing a tight leather dress, towering platform heels, and a look that instantly sent the internet into meltdown mode. Some people were stunned. Others were uncomfortable. But almost everybody had something to say. And honestly, the backlash got even uglier after clips started resurfacing from EJ's recent interviews, especially the moment EJ boldly claimed they look better than most women and mainly attract straight men. But here's the part people online cannot stop questioning. If a man is romantically attracted to EJ Johnson, then how exactly is that man still considered straight? That's the question currently tearing through social media right now, and nobody seems able to give a clear answer. But somehow, the story gets even stranger behind the scenes. Because according to EJ's own statements, there's reportedly been a major shift in identity over the past few years. EJ allegedly no longer feels connected to traditional male pronouns and now prefers they slash them or she slash her instead. And what really shocked people? EJ reportedly admitted that even family members are discouraged from using the word son anymore, including parents themselves.
I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing, you know, even like son. I was like, you know, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that either.
So let's get this straight, or at least try to. Because according to E.J. Johnson's own interviews, E.J. dates men, but says they don't identify as gay. At the exact same time, E.J. also pushes back against being called a woman or a trans woman. And that's where the internet completely lost the plot. Because while blogs and media outlets keep trying to place EJ into categories like non-binary or gender fluid, EJ reportedly rejects those labels too. Now look, people can identify however they want. That's not even the part causing chaos online right now. The real controversy started when EJ began making statements that many people felt crossed over from self-confidence into pure shock value territory. Like openly claiming to look better than biological women. Or repeatedly insisting that straight men secretly want them. And according to critics online, that's the exact moment the conversation stopped being about identity and started feeling more like performance, provocation, and non-stop attention grabbing. In fact, some people are now accusing EJ of intentionally saying outrageous things simply to keep social media talking. And based on the reaction flooding comment sections lately, it's clearly working. But now DL Hughley has entered the drama too, and he did not hold back at all. Because during a recent discussion, DL basically argued that no matter what labels people create for themselves publicly, reality still exists underneath all of it. And according to him, people can rename things however they want, but biology is still biology at the end of the day.
Now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination. You can wear a sundress when you go. Yeah. You're still getting the same thing I'm getting. So happy anniversary, I guess. You can say you're a thing and you're that. Yeah. You like, and you have to, like, for now, I'm a white man trapped in this black man's body. Yeah. My name is Chad. Yeah. Now that ain't gonna work good for the police. Wait, I'm a white man, but both of y'all get out. But the first. Yeah.
But then you have Katt Williams stepping into the conversation, and his perspective is way darker than anything people expected. Because unlike the internet trolls laughing at the situation, Katt reportedly believes there's something much deeper happening behind the scenes in Hollywood, something intentional, something engineered. And according to Katt, none of this is entertainment anymore. During a controversial appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, Katt went into territory that instantly set social media on fire. He started connecting celebrity culture, gender identity conversations, industry power structures, and even ancient occult symbolism all into one disturbing theory. And the moment people really froze? That was when Katt brought up the figure known as Baphomet, a symbol long tied to conspiracy theories, secret rituals, and hidden elite societies online. According to Katt's claims, certain rituals allegedly involve followers kissing Baphomet's ring as a sign of obedience and submission to power. Now, whether people believe him or not, the internet absolutely exploded after that interview. Because Katt then doubled down and claimed he saw this cultural shift coming years ago. According to him, Hollywood was slowly normalizing what he described as bowing to power long before the public even realized it was happening. And in Katt's eyes, the rise of these conversations in mainstream culture was never random. He believes it was part of something much larger operating quietly behind the scenes the entire time.
Years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular.
And this is where Katt Williams takes the conversation into truly dangerous territory. Because Katt's entire theory is built around one disturbing idea, that Hollywood humiliation is not accidental, it's strategic. According to Katt, the industry allegedly uses symbolic acts, public embarrassment, and ritual-like behavior to psychologically break celebrities down until they become completely controllable. And in his view, none of the imagery people keep seeing is random. The dresses, the public humiliation, the kiss the ring, symbolism, the occult references. Katt believes all of it serves one purpose, obedience. Because according to his claims, the moment a celebrity agrees to publicly do something that destroys their pride, damages their image, or humiliates them in front of millions, that's the moment the industry knows they can be controlled. In Katt's eyes, once somebody crosses that line, there's no going back. Because now there's leverage, now there's footage, now there's proof they'll comply. And he believes that's how powerful people allegedly keep celebrities trapped inside the machine. Stay quiet, play your role, smile for the cameras, and keep collecting the rewards. But if someone ever rebels or speaks too loudly, according to Katt, that's when careers mysteriously collapse, scandals suddenly leak, and reputations get destroyed overnight. And this is why Katt says the conversation surrounding gender identity inside celebrity culture feels much bigger to him than what the public sees on the surface. Because according to statistics often discussed online, transgender and non-binary identities represent a very small percentage of the general population. Yet critics constantly point out how unusually common these situations appear within celebrity families specifically. And that observation has fueled endless conspiracy theories online. Because if Hollywood truly does operate through power, influence, and psychological conditioning, like Katt claims, many people are now asking one uncomfortable question. Why would the system stop with the celebrities themselves? Celebrity children grow up surrounded by the industry from birth. Backstage at award shows. Inside mansions full of executives. Around cameras, fame, handlers, and powerful people every single day. So according to these theories, if the parents become tied to the system, then the children become part of that world too. And for certain celebrities, especially hypermasculine athletes or old-school public figures, people believe these situations may create enormous private humiliation behind closed doors. But publicly, they smile, they defend everything, they post supportive family photos online, and the media praises them for it. Why? Because according to Katt's critics and supporters alike, Hollywood allegedly rewards obedience above everything else. And that's exactly why so many people keep bringing up Magic Johnson in these conversations. Because Magic built his image as one of the most respected masculine icons in American sports history. NBA legend, billionaire businessman, charismatic family man, the always smiling face of success. But then there's E.J. Johnson, flamboyant fashion, makeup, heels, women's clothing, and controversial comments about dating straight men. And despite all the backlash surrounding EJ online, Magic publicly continues to stand beside him and insist he fully supports him no matter what.
Came out, I was so happy for him and happy for us as parents. And we love him. And EJ is amazing. And so you gotta support your child.
But honestly, every time Magic is asked about EJ, his body language betrays.
Him. He seems nervous, stumbling over his words, not keeping eye contact. It just doesn't come across as genuine.
Young gay men or young ladies who are lesbian, they're afraid to tell their parents. Just like I want my son EJ to talk to me about everything. I want my son Andre to talk to me, my daughter Elisa, and that's what it's about. Yes, I go to church. You know, I'm a Christian. But at the same time, you know, this is reality. You know, my son is gay.
Also, it's interesting how in every interview, Magic refers to EJ as gay, but we heard from EJ himself that he rejects that label. So, it makes you wonder if Magic is really as accepting as he claims.
How old is your daughter now?
My child's 23.
Okay.
24 now.
Okay.
And this was happening when they were 22, 23. And for me, like...
That's the let go time. That's like you're your own person now.
Yeah. But,
And-
you know, you're trying to hold on, all right? And you want this thing that's in your head, normalcy, and you're thinking about your grandchildren and all kinds of shit. And it's like, yo, it's not on me to think.
And according to people online, the pattern doesn't stop there either. Take Eddie Murphy, for example. When Eddie's child with Mel B, Angel, publicly came out as trans, the media covered it for a while, and then something interesting happened. Eddie almost never speaks about it publicly. At least not in the way people expected. Sure, anonymous sources close to the family continue claiming Eddie is completely supportive and accepting behind the scenes. But critics online keep pointing out one detail they find strange. Eddie openly discusses many of his other children in interviews, yet conversations about Angel almost never seem to happen publicly. And for some people watching from the outside, that silence feels louder than words. Because they keep asking the same uncomfortable question. If someone is fully proud, fully comfortable, and fully at peace with the situation, why avoid talking about it altogether? Now, obviously nobody truly knows what happens inside these celebrity families privately. But online speculation keeps growing because fans believe body language, silence, and selective interviews sometimes reveal more than public statements ever do. And then there's Dwayne Wade, who people say handled the situation in the complete opposite way. Because unlike the celebrities who stay quiet or guarded, Dwayne became extremely vocal about supporting his trans daughter, Zaya Wade. Interviews, red carpets, magazine features, public speeches, social media posts. He leaned all the way into it publicly. But even that sparked another wave of suspicion online, because critics began claiming the support sometimes felt almost too performative, almost like Dwayne was trying extra hard to prove something to the public before anyone could question him. And according to some viewers, when celebrities become overly polished and overly public with these situations, it can start feeling less natural and more like image management. Almost like they already know the cameras are watching, and they cannot afford to say the wrong thing for even 1 second.
The trans conversation is not the entire conversation with us. This is 10% of our relationship. Right? We have regular, just conversation about anything.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers, French fries. Like,
remember our conversation on mustard?
Yeah, mustard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think that every time that Zaya and I sit down and have, you know, this daddy-daughter time, and I tell you guys all the time, I always create moments with my village for my people, right? Especially my kids. I'm gonna find these moments to create.
So when you really step back and look at the bigger picture, a lot of people believe this is about way more than just one celebrity family. Because these are men who built entire empires around toughness, confidence, dominance, swagger, and old-school masculinity. And now, many of them suddenly seem trapped inside a culture where one wrong sentence, one awkward reaction, or even staying silent for too long can instantly turn them into the next public villain online. That's why this whole situation surrounding E.J. Johnson keeps creating so much tension on the internet. Because people aren't just debating EJ anymore. They're debating fame, pressure, Hollywood culture, masculinity, control, and whether celebrities are even allowed to speak honestly anymore without risking everything they built. And once Katt Williams brought his theories about rituals, symbolism, and industry obedience into the conversation, the entire thing became even more controversial. So now the real question is this. Does Magic Johnson genuinely support EJ from the heart? Or has Hollywood created an environment where public figures feel forced to perform acceptance no matter what they truly think privately? And what about Katt's claims? Do you believe there's actually a deeper agenda operating behind celebrity culture, or do you think people are reading way too far into all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is getting darker by the day. And trust me, the next story we're about to break down might be even crazier than this one.